Hi and welcome back to Agrarian Skies. Today is going to be a short video. I am basically getting ready for I'm preparing for the last push to get Isengard finished. And as part of those preparation, I'm going to very quickly show you a few things I've been up to now. I've almost finished the interior of the wall, I should say. I have massively increased my storage of obsidian, and I'm going to spend a couple of days just doing kind of away from keyboard stuff and coming back and making sure I don't starve, and basically generating metric crap tons of obsidian. I mean, as you can see, it does go up quite quickly. In addition, I have had some luck with ender pearls in my mob spawner, so I'm going to have enough power to keep going, and I still have 2 hours almost on this, and I should have enough. Actually, I probably do have enough. I probably have enough soil there to finish over here, to finish the last of the grass areas, which I'm going to do in a moment on camera. And as soon as I've that done, we will very quickly get on to what I mean by preparing for the final push, because it actually has a very specific meaning today. One of the big problems I'm going to have in the future with this is just lack of power. Pardon me. I only realized oh, excuse me, that really hurt. I didn't realize how short I was on power when I upgraded my jetpack to the resonant one. I mean, it takes 10 million RF per charge. That's not an inconsequential amount of power. And as such, it's giving me problems. I'm actually having problems charging my jetpack. Well, that crap will not fly. I have to have a functional, fully charged jetpack at all times, because I use my jetpack constantly. So that would be the reason why I built a area for a big reactor. Oh. And a big reactor will provide me with enough power, I hope, to charge my I hate when that happens. To charge my my jetpack properly, and in a way that is reliable. The lava generators have done great, and so have the resonant generators. I'm not going to lie, they are a huge success. But what they aren't is efficient. And what they aren't is large-scale, heavy-duty energy generation. They're just not. And with that being the case, it's definitely time for that big upgrade. Ooh, I'm just slightly short. Maybe if I... Do I have a shovel? I don't have a shovel. Okay, I'm just going to punch dirt. With lava and ender generators, they work. I'm not going to pretend they don't. They work extraordinarily well. But what they aren't is high efficiency, and they're not quick. They generate 80 redstone flux per tick. Or to put it another way, big lag spike there. Not nearly enough. If I'm going to actually be able to power everything, I'm going to have to put a lot more into my... Okay, I'm out of that. I'm going to have an awful lot more power gen. And the only way I've been able to find that will work in a large scale without having a ridiculous number of generators is a big reactor. The problem with the big reactors is they are not cheap to build, and they're not easy to build either. They use large quantities of graphite and steel, And steel is a problem in its own right because it takes so much effort to make it, because you have to have nickel, iron, and a high furnace. And high furnaces require charcoal to run. They also require redstone, gunpowder, and sand. Now sand isn't a problem, and thankfully neither is gunpowder. But redstone, I have better things to use it for a lot of the time. So it's not exactly the most efficient thing in the world to build, but it is one of the most efficient things you can possibly run from moment to moment. Almost there. I wonder is there enough in my soil generator again. So yeah, one of the things I'm going to have to do is I am going to have to set up a sand sifting system, because as much as I wish it wasn't so, I am going to need vast quantities of sand in order to provide myself with enough yellorium, and as far as I know, that's the only thing I'm going to need a lot of for fueling it. But yellorium isn't just used for fuel, it's also used for construction of the parts, and that makes it extraordinarily expensive because yellorium is a pain in the ass to get. So what we're going to do is we are going to strip out part of the machine over here, my original obsidian setup, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I have pretty much all the clay I could ever want, so I'm not worried about clay production for a while. I've also moved the actual obsidian generation section that was here outside. It's gone. It's done. But what I do have is this, and I'm pretty sure I have enough limestone to work with for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal this, which is not going to take terribly long, and I'm going to... Do I have bits for this? I don't. Let's see. This can come off. This can come off. This can come off. And this. And this. Okay. I'm probably not going to need this for the time being because this is just the clay gen. And let's see. Yeah, that's producing sand. So what we're going to do is we are going to drop this here. And I have... Where did my autonomous activators go? I thought I had two of them. Well, there's one. That's weird. That's potentially very bad, actually. I've lost an autonomous activator. Those things are bloody expensive. Ugh. So this is going to be dropped here, and it will very quickly start to fill up with just make sure it's working. Okay, why aren't you emptying? Okay, let's try this another way. Let's try going underneath. This is, after all, the reason I created an underneath this. So this goes up. and we just pop in underneath and put this in. Okay, that's really weird. Why in the world isn't that working? Okay, well, I'm going to need 2 sifters anyway, 2 sieves. And sieves are just wood and silk mesh, and silk mesh is... I think I have everything in here. Silk mesh, I don't have everything in here. That's kind of annoying. Silk mesh is just that. I'm going to need more, so I have no problem using that way. And we will... This is all stuff I've done before, but my trackball is starting to go. I am going to cry when it finally breaks down. Okay, let's try it now. If we put this here, break already. You know, I might make a third one altogether. Oh, that's output, not input, of course. So if I change that to blue. There we go. Just make sure that that's actually working. Okay. Put that to ignore, and seeing as my other one decided to do a runner, there they are. Beautiful. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm not quite ready for them to run, but it won't take long for them to fill. At least I don't think it will. Oh, of course, those would have the same problem again. Now, I am going to need you as soon as I can get you off. Well, that came out dirtier than I intended. Do I have aid? I don't. Of course I don't have a crafting table down here. That would be useful. So we're going to make up a... a couple of chests. And that will see. I think that's right. And this should very quickly start generating just massive amounts of... my English is just eluding me today. you can make string from those used to make oh, okay, am I actually out of string? Okay, apparently I'm out of string. That really surprises me. Okay then. Now, I guess I'll just have to run it with the 2 for the time being. So the end idea of this is that it will generate large quantities of the materials I need for my big reactor. Because my big reactor is one of the last parts of this big build. Well, it's not strictly speaking a part of the big build, but it is essential for the next big step in my Let's Play in general, which is of course getting enough power. So this needs to be running pretty much all the time. The only thing is I'm going to need a lot more storage space than that, but that can wait for a few minutes, at least until I finish this. I'll do it off camera. So yeah, this is where, of course, where the big reactor is going to go. I'm thinking of making, rather than one large one, it's perhaps 4 smaller ones, and then back here will be a resource generation point. What I'm planning is to have multiple pulverizers, multiple sieves, and each sieve, and say 2 sieves. Well, I need the dust more than I need anything else. Well, dust and sand. So what it's going to do is I'm going to have 1 gravel, 2 sand, 2 dust, with pulverizers feeding all of them, and then I'm going to run item ducts up through the multiple floors to the top floor, and those will then deliver the stuff that they generate into a bank of Jabba barrels. Because I know I can use a computer for large scale storage, but I don't really like computers in Minecraft. Like I said before, I think they're kind of pointless in a way. They kind of take away one of the joys of playing this game. Cactus. No yellorium. Apparently yellorium as well is a 1 in 10 drop, so I'm not expecting huge quantities of it for a while, but I am going to need them. So yeah, apart from that, I'm now in the last push before, or the prep before the last push, and I'm going to need a lot of obsidian. I don't know if I'm going to need 100,000, but I'm going to need a lot. I'm also become aware that there is a sequence of quests for the hoarding, where I'm going to need to compress soil, an awful lot of soil. So to that end, I am going, now that these are that I've finished grassing, I'm going to need 2 or 3 more stacks to fill out the gaps where I put in machinery. But I'm also going to need a lot of dirt, just as a resource for doing that compressed dirt quest, but also for my farms, which are going to be done immediately after I get the big reactor running, and those are going to go out here. I intend to expand these to 3x3, so I'm going to need more planters, but these are going to be expanded, and these are going to just be exactly what I've built out there. They're going to be tree farm to generate more and more dirt. But the way I'm going to do it is it's going to be quite similar to the setup out there, but it'll be just neater like this. And then out behind those, and going around the mob spawner and behind the mob spawner, are going to be my farms. And I'm going to have a farm for each animal type, because it's getting a little overcrowded in there. But I'm also going to set up a few different types of farms, not least of which being wheat, but also any of the plants that can be right clicked to harvest, well, those are going to be used. And yeah, I think that's kind of it for now. There's some stuff I'll have to do off camera, like I'm going to have to expand this, and I'm going to have to set up avoiding systems so that I get rid of things like the exotic seeds, the cactus seeds, the saguaro saguaro? Yeah, saguaro fruit even. So, you know, not a lot I can do about that. I'm just going to check if Yellorium actually is done by this, because it's going to be very sad if it isn't. Okay, so it can be pulverized, it can be made from sulfur and tin, and it can also be sieved for. It's a 2% drop chance. Ooh, that's not too good, but I got my first one, so that's okay. I didn't know about the sulfur and tin one, but even at that there is a problem with that, and the problem is quite simple. The way you get sulfur is by pulverizing coal, and coal is not plentiful, to say the least. So I do think the sieving system is going to be my best bet for this, but what can you do? It's just the way it is. Anywho, this has been the last push. No, the preparation for the last push. I'm going to spend the next few days generating large quantities of obsidian. I'm going to start using a particular wood which I've been lucky enough to find a large quantity of, or at least some saplings for, which is the dark wood. Dark wood is just beautiful, and I think it's this, and I think this is ideal for making the stairs for inside Orthanc. And of course I'm going to keep using the obsidian bricks for my flooring. But yeah, so that's my plan now for the next couple of days, is large scale obsidian generation, large scale dirt generation, so that I have enough materials to actually reach a point where I can do my farms and have some soil for compressing, and grow a lot of wood. So in the meantime, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.